The CFL Gambling Podcast Week 4 preview picks and DFS edition on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com and make sure you use our promo code TCESGPN. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome to the CFL Gambling Podcast. Week 4 preview picks DFS huge tips parlays, and we will react to another wild week. I wanted to do 2 episodes this week, but I am still in Los Angeles in the studio here, as I am just going through basically recording 40 episodes over the course of 5 days. It has been quite chaotic. So next week, I think I can feel comfortable by saying you will get 2 episodes. But what we're gonna do here is do 2 episodes into one. We're gonna react. Then we will talk about the upcoming schedule, DFS, huge tits parlay, all that good stuff. And if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Let's go. Shout out to Jack. Come be a part of the chat. Type in CFL Gambling Podcast on YouTube. You get us. You can watch this. If you're on the audio side, you're good too. And hop over to Twitter at CFL Gambling Pod. Shout out to JBard14. Brother, in my Hulk Hogan voice, he says, I miss you, man. You're the best doing it. I appreciate you. Hop on over, be a part of the chat. I am joined by my co-host. He's one of the best doing it as well. He is the host of the Old Fashioned Football Podcast, which you should be subscribed to. Give it up for Justin Mark, aka No Turd J Mark. How are you, buddy?
Doing good. I heard there's a official order going through, seeing if it's PC to call me the King of Canada. Woo. After going 7-1 ATS in the last 2 weeks here. Maybe not the King of Spring. Maybe we let CJ Sullivan keep that one. He finished pretty hot, but the King of Canada, we're here. I know they have a prime minister. There's no kings. I get it. It's a joke, people. Calm down.
Nah, I mean, look. Maybe what they need is a king. I'm joking. I'm anti-king myself. All right, unless it's King Kong Bundy. But buddy, here we are. Exciting games left and right, and where the fuck is my music? Well, we had CFL action this past weekend in what I think is just a splendid, awesome league. And it started off, I should cue the music for a second. It started off with Montreal and the Edmonton Eskimos doing battle, and just a brutal. I thought I was going to get a cover here, but no, I thought I was going to backdoor this thing. It turns out I know you're 7-1, but I'm just going to shit on you a little bit here. You've been sprinkling this Edmonton Eskimo voodoo on me in the preseason episodes. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Should Trey Ford be starting for the Edmonton Eskimos moving forward? And what do you make of Davis Alexander looking fantastic despite getting a little dinged up in this matchup?
First to Trey Ford, the coach already said after the loss, there's no question who our quarterback is. Trey Ford is our quarterback. Let's stop asking that question.
Great way to get fired.
To him.
Okay.
So he's committed to him, good or bad, I guess. You got to imagine that, they do have a Grey Cup winner Cody Fajardo as the backup there. Got to imagine maybe he could bring some spark to that. And it's not necessarily that. I don't know if Trey Ford is bad. He just seems like maybe he's not starter quality, I guess. Like he's not losing games for him,
he threw for over 300 last week, so I guess we shouldn't shit on him, but
a lot of that seemed like it came in the second.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah. And he's got the scrambling ability. He's just not, he's not quite accurate enough.
I'm going to say it's coaching actually, because I like the scrambling ability. I would get a little more creative with his legs if I was the coach, but I certainly
would think they'd run an RPO every play.
Yeah. Football is not as complex as we need to make it. And the reason why I asked this question, because I think some listeners, if they're from last season, they say, Dundee, you were screaming they should just play Trey Ford. But that's when they had McLeod, Lawn Chair, Bethel Thompson, who we were talking about later in this episode. Going out and getting Cody Fajardo, I question what they were doing, because if Trey Ford's the franchise quarterback moving forward, you don't go out and get a proven backup. It's just a distraction to me. So. I do believe, if you're using last year's logic, there was no Fajardo. Now you look at it and you say, are they starting the best quarterback on their roster? And I think it's a valid and fair question to ask, especially because Fajardo played pretty solid last year and then won the Grey Cup the year prior. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it does. It's the same thing when they brought Nathan Rourke in to BC when VA was playing so well. It's like, yeah, he got banged up for a couple games, so you bring in Rourke that can win games, but it also kind of starts to divide this locker room. It's kind of starts messing with the confidence of, hey, which of these guys do we want to believe in, and how do we expect them to keep believing in themselves when we make a move that kind of gives the message that we're doubting them, right?
100%. And that's why I reassess my own opinion, because I'm like, man, Fajardo's pretty good. He should probably be starting in this league. And it's not a knock against Trey Ford. He did throw over 300 yards, but I also will knock the coaching some. I think you can get more creative in having someone that's that dynamic with their legs. I know he's still, and how about my Philpott play, by the way?
Yeah. Your Philpott play did beat, I forget who I put him up against. I knew the odds were stacked against me there, but I was willing to put it on the line. You won that one.
We had two battles. Was it 1-1? I can't remember.
It went 1-1 because I had Dominic Rhymes and you had the other Philpott in the other one, and Dom Rhymes had like a point or two more.
Fucking monsoon. So I still have a one game bourbon lead for the real drinkers out there keeping tabs. Where are you at, like, just long term with both these teams? Montreal looks like a team that's going to play for the Grey Cup, in my opinion, and the Eskimos, they still have the football gods against them for being, for being essentially. I think David Thompson said it best.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're gonna pay for it. Good night.
What do you make of both these teams?
Yeah, the Eskimos, I'm obviously disappointed in their start. Doesn't mean they can't turn it around, but it was funny seeing the socials. A lot of people complaining that this is just because they changed the team name and that's where it all started.
Well, yeah, I mean, are you not of that opinion?
I think that there's a talent issue and maybe a coaching issue right now as well. But I do think that you can point to when they did do the name change, it seems like it really started going downhill after that. And there's a lot of fans that still back that name. I don't think there's as many offended people as they like to pretend. And then Montreal, I mean, I was ready to fade them because of their changes, because of their belief in Davis Alexander. He looks great now. Now he does have a hamstring injury. He's not practicing. There's conflicting reports that he could still play. He's out 4 games. We don't have an official report from the coach yet. He wouldn't commit to that. So, but he has looked really good as far as his running has never been a problem. It's been like, can he pass to go along with that? Well, so far this year, he has proven that he 100% can pass to go along with that. And I don't know if you saw, but Jalen Philpott of the Calgary Stampeders predicted that this will be a Philpott championship game, Montreal versus Calgary.
Woo! Nothing like getting that in Ric Flair on. All right, let's jump over to the next game. But before we do that, I want to let you know that we are the CFL Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And look, NASCAR's in-season tournament we're running is fantastic. It's a free contest. Head on over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NASCAR for your chance to win a $200 gift card. And make sure to subscribe to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast with our friends Cody and Rod Villagomez, former host of this show. So yeah. Shout out to them. And gentlemen, start your engines and get on over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NASCAR. All right, we are back talking CFL and J Mark. Sometimes if I hadn't been watching the game live, I would have got enough. I mean, I was watching the game live, but I'm saying I had so many DMs to me. I repeat myself to the point where some people probably say, man, this guy just won't let it go. Fair. And I'm okay losing those listeners that say that, but I think the kickoff return and the kickoff is the most exciting play in football. And I think if you take that away, which the NFL and the UFL has elected to, thank God college football hasn't, hopefully that day never comes. Thank God the CFL hasn't done it. Hopefully that day never comes. To me, why it's so great is it can just automatically. First, you want to see your best athletes have a chance to return in the open field. I think that's part of the fun. Barry Sanders was phenomenal as a kick returner at Oklahoma State. It was just Dante Hall, like some of the greatest football plays. Deion Sanders. We can go on and on. Desmond Howard. But that's part of the allure is that awesome thing can steal momentum, right? You can have the greatest 20 play drive, dominate the game. All the momentum's against you. Your offense has been sputtering because you blew a 20-point lead. And then guess what? You kick to Eric Metcalf. You kick to whoever, and it is the ultimate football play. I think it's the most interesting football play there is. And well, we had a game. I think it was Friday, if memory serves me correct.
Yep.
Where there was a blown lead by the Saskatchewan Roughriders after being up a lot, including a terrible roughing the passer call, just an absolutely disgusting roughing the passer call against Saskatchewan, which extended a drive by Toronto, but then Toronto scores, even gets a 2-point conversion to tie the game up. Great rally by the Argos, despite that bullshit call. They kick off, and then Mario Alford gives us, I think, the best CFL ending to a game in a while. What a game. And the Roughriders stay undefeated, 39-32. I know that I feel this way, but I'm glad I saw you tweeting this, and I think you're of your own opinion. I don't think you're just doing this because of me. But what did you like, or how did that ending make you feel? And then also tell me why you have been a proponent of this.
Well, first of all, I love that. A lot of times it's this young guy who is maybe a rookie, so he's still got that speed and he can beat guys here and there. But it was not a rookie. Mario Alford is a veteran. I think he's 31 years old. So the fact that he burned everybody, I just thought it was that much sweeter. And you're absolutely right. The emotions behind that. I mean, I'm a Bears fan. I've talked about it before. Watching Devin Hester change the field position, change the score, whether he's doing punt returns or kick returns, like just the emotions behind that and the way you can carry the team as a returner is important in my opinion.
I mean, those Bears teams could win with defense and special teams, and it was reasonable to think they would each Sunday. And,
yeah, 100%.
And they've removed an element of that. I almost feel like it's impossible to win with defense and special teams today in whatever league that has that foo-foo kickoff. But what a fucking ending, man.
Yeah, I would literally watching Hester every time they kick to him. I would hold my breath because it's like every play he could take off. Now, we apparently are spreading bold-faced lies, according to former tight end Luke Wilson, who said that this is just junk ball.
I don't get right.
And he blamed, that the Argos were short a man on the kickoff team and all this and blah, blah, blah. I don't know how you can look at that and say it's junk ball. That was a very exciting game. There were a lot of points if you like offense. There was some good defensive plays, but that was the most exciting play of that entire game.
I think it's probably, I mean, we covered every game last season. I've been watching the CFL for a while. Now, I'm not going to say it's the greatest ending ever, but I think it's one of the best endings I've seen in this league. Now, I saw his tweet that I disagree with, and I will give him this. But I did think the game was over penalized. Personally, I do feel that, but I feel that way about every form of football right now on the planet. I feel like is an over penalized product. It doesn't need to be, called this ridiculously. But on that return, I thought it was. How can you? It bothers me he would tweet that because in a league that is, I would say, always looking for viewers because they've kind of been bouncing across their identity from, I mean, I know it's historic, but also they had financial problems at one point in the past decade. They were on ESPN Plus or CBS Sports. Where is it at? TSN. So trying to build that and give you that reason for watching and to give you one of the best outcomes, I think, of any game in a while that I've seen in the CFL. And we were watching it here in the LA office, and the room erupted. We had about 4 or 5 people here. They're just like, "Oh shit, he's taking it back." They don't even watch. They don't even care about CFL, but they thought it was awesome. So I got to see it from the fan that doesn't even watch the league, and they thought it was fantastic. So 39-32, what an ending. Please stop with the roughing. How can it be roughing the passer if the fucking quarterback has the ball, J Mark?
That was one of those things where they thought he led with the crown or something.
It's so bad. How do you not review that? How do you not review that?
I think on all levels of football that the refs should have some sort of penalty if they make. I know you're going to miss a call here and there, or you're going to make a mistake, but when they have repeated, which I felt like this game, there were a ton of bad calls.
Yeah.
Then they don't get to ref and they don't get their check the next week or something. Like you
or suspended, suspend for a week or something. But you
got to have some stipulations to kind of make them realize, oh shit, I need to really do a good job. Like they can't just do whatever.
100%, and I think that goes for all accounts. Even, I mean, I just don't understand what you're supposed to do when the quarterback holds the ball. What are you supposed to do?
Right.
Like we have really, really tainted the game, and it doesn't matter. It's a global pandemic. It's not just in America. It's in Canada. It's in the ELF in Europe. I watch all these damn leagues. All right. And
I think it was just last week, Darius Pickett for Ottawa. Davis Alexander, a running quarterback, is running. Darius Pickett, a big dude. He's a linebacker. He started to kind of dive at him right as Davis Alexander started to slide. He can't stop himself midair.
Yeah,
they call a 15-yard penalty.
We've lost like logic. We've lost like just normal logic on the game, and it's like the refs have never played the game. I want to highlight like Dante Myers for Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
125 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Argos also, I think, found something late in that game, despite the bullshit calls. And let's not forget also Calvin Turner for the Argos had like a 50-yard return in that game too. Special teams was a huge element of that game. Yeah. Where are you at on the panic mode? I know you hate Toronto, but Superman, aka Chad Kelly, might be back soon. But both sides of this coin: Corey May, Saskatchewan, and Toronto. Your thoughts on them 3 weeks into the season?
Yeah, they're already saying, I'm seeing on the socials, is Saskatchewan the team to beat. This team went 4-0 last year, and then they went 1-7-1. So I'm not ready to say that they're the team to beat yet. They have to maintain, and that doesn't mean like they can't lose a game, but they got to make sure that they don't fall into that 1-7-1 pattern that they had last year. As far as the Argos, I agree. The offense looked a lot better, especially the second half. Defense is still pretty bad. I know they made some changes. They brought in a big defensive tackle to hopefully help them, but I liked some of the quotes from Dinwiddie in his press conference.
He's going to fire somebody, right? I feel like you said something like that, right?
So he said, so I told these guys, someone's going home tomorrow. Some heads are rolling. I ain't putting up with that stuff no more. Well, maybe it should be your special teams coordinator that didn't make sure there were all the guys on the field. You only had 10.
That's true. That's true.
And then he said, and then the penalties, we had more penalties than our freaking offense, and they were all selfish ones. I thought we got beat up front. One of our guards is 280 pounds. I don't know what he did all off season. And he also said, we don't know how to not lose games. It's not about winning games. It's about not losing games. Just some great quotes.
He felt like shit afterwards. Everybody booing the shit out of him, but he worked his ass off.
Yeah, I mean, I think they found something there though in the middle, but we'll see. Saskatchewan though, are they a legit contender for this Grey Cup?
I mean, they completed 13 passes. It's impressive that they put up 39 points with only completing 13 passes, but I need to see more from Trevor Harris before I'm buying in. Otherwise, I think that maybe they've just had a decent schedule, but yeah, I got to see more first.
All right, folks, we're going to talk about the next two games here, but want to let you know that the CFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Yes, MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including the wonderful CFL, the MLB, golf, WNBA, and of course, college football, NFL futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well. You can easily deposit and get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code TCESGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply, of course. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Circa, the ultimate fantasy football giveaway. And look, this thing is ending soon, so you want to get in now. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their entire stay. You're going to get a limo ride from the airport. A $5,000 food and beverage tab at Stadium Swim. And if you haven't seen Stadium Swim, it's incredible. You can also have your draft there and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. Plus there's a couple other bar deals they're giving you. You can always, enter this thing. And like I said, last chance to enter, at the Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football Giveaway, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa. Last chance, get in there. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa. That's CIRCA. And remember, you can always get 15% off any of the Circa properties with the promo code SGP15. So do that. And remember, as always, to let it ride. All right. We are back. And my biggest dud, I felt good about this. You might have heard me on VSiN. Attacking the CFL. Say, take the stamps. But boy, I think this was the most shocking outcome. Dustin Crum didn't even do much. 9 of 22, 111 yards. And they win. Disgusting. VA, 218 yards. What's going on here? Dedrick Mills, 96 yards. They just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And my Stamps take a critical loss to the Ottawa Redblacks. So they're finally on the board. I'm still annoyed. Your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, you think you're annoyed. This is the first game that I've picked wrong in the last 8. So I was really annoyed. I think I texted you. I can't believe my streak is going to end to Dustin Crum. Like, come on. And yeah, 9 completions. He did run for 64 yards. That was the story for them, right? Adebaboye had 96, Stanback had 82, and Crum had 64. Vernon Adams didn't look all that good. I was talking with our buddy Cannabis Capper, Matt DeWaskin, and he was mentioning that this VA guy doesn't look like he's very good. There's got to be somebody better.
Oh, well, they have PJ Walker. You would think. I mean, if you're feeling now, the conditions were a little,
But yeah, and I saw that a lot from Stampeders fans. Well, the conditions were bad. Well, guess what? Both teams played in those conditions, and one of them did look better.
And that is puzzling. I think I had someone text me or DM me saying like VA can't play in the rain, and I'm like, what? That can't be true because he played at Oregon and Eastern Washington when he was in college. It just sometimes you have a bad game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and he still has not thrown a touchdown pass. Kind of surprising because I know that we were both high on him. He looked so good last year. He's got a nice receiver core. They're just their red zone efficiency when they get close there is not very good. I don't think they should hit the panic button. I mean, it was a sloppy game. It didn't go their way. They couldn't stop the run. They need to tighten that up, but I don't think they should panic yet. I think if you look at the schedule that they're on, having won 2 games already, they're still ahead of expectations, right? At their 6.5 win total. So I'm not panicking yet.
Yeah, and they're on bye this week, and that's a critical one. Because when they come back, they'll be hosting the Blue Bombers on July 3rd. Shout out to Ottawa getting their first win. Then the final game, and a game that I got silly. I got cute. I was just looking for a money line play, and I thought my boy Masoli could do it, but Masoli threw 44 passes. If that was the blueprint for the game, I don't think I would have taken them. I like Jeremiah Masoli, the ageless one, and he did throw for 281. But he also threw 2 interceptions, and he only completed 25 of those 44 passes. Why? Okay, if you're going to the backup, why are you throwing the ball 44 times?
Especially when you heard all this talk of they were excited to have James Butler back. They were ready to use
9
him in the run
fucking
game
rushes.
And the passing game. He didn't get any receptions. They talked about how the last team didn't utilize him right because they didn't utilize him in the passing game, and he excels at that. Well, you guys aren't using him either. What are you doing? Yeah,
this is one where at the half, it's not like they were getting blown out. It was like what? It was like 17-3 or something at halftime, something like that. That was a lot of that was on a fumble return for a touchdown. So it's like, and then they made like a 60-yard field goal. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I disagree with their approach coaching for that game, but yeah, you were right. I was wrong. You're the best. I'm the worst. What else you want from me?
Another shout out to Matt DeWaskin, who I call him the underdog fantasy king. He was riding a little pick'em entry that involved Carrick Wheatfall, who's been doing pretty good, and he hit that towards the latter half of the game there. So congrats to him.
Shout out to Cannabis Capper.
Yeah, this Winnipeg team looks really good. I think Chris, for whatever reason, I think Chris Streveler makes their offense better. I think they can score more points with him, but I think Zach Claros is a safer guy. So I think, a lot of times you see these good teams, you go, well, if their quarterback gets injured, though, I don't think it matters. I think if their quarterback gets injured, they're fine.
And we took that future. We thought this would be, maybe the final run, perhaps.
Yeah.
In a long line of successful seasons there for the Bombers. All right, let's get to this weekend's action.
Let's do it.
I was like, can I say weekend if it's a Thursday night game? You know what I mean. But before we do that, I do want to let you good, fine people know that the CFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. We just talked about Cannabis Capper. Playing Underdog Fantasy CFL action. They offer it. It's fantastic. And look, Underdog's doing the Best Ball Mania, and it's happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to the first place. Look, there's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Just Best Ball is the best way to go and play fantasy football. If you haven't played, you got to check it out. Underdog Fantasy, though, has everything. So sign up, and when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. There, UnderdogFantasy.com promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. You've probably heard me talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a brand new game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's models have consistently won and has a very high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. And Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets, baby. So download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know damn well we will be. All right. Get your free 7-day trial period today as well. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right. And it is here Thursday night. The Edmonton Eskimos say, don't quit on us now. Well, sorry, you gave us the ammo. The ammo. You gave us the ammo. You gave us the explosives to light the fucking thing. They're heading in to Winnipeg to what is it? Princess Stadium or some shit like that now. Who knows? Where the last time they played, Winnipeg won 55-27 a year ago. Woo! 55 spot. Where are those slides? Let's get those slides going. YouTube.com. Hop over there. CFL Gambling Podcast. Type that in. The Eskimos, the over/under is set at 50 points. 50. Well, what are we doing? Winnipeg scored 55 last time they played. They're laying 10. I'm not getting in front of this train, man. Edmonton looks like complete ass. Winnipeg's got one of the best home field advantages. I'm not getting in front of this train. The only problem is it seems so damn chalky, but 10's a big number in these leagues. I'm laying it though. The Bombers look like they're in FU mode. Edmonton looks like they're all over the place. They should probably be starting. I mean, you could argue they should be starting a different quarterback. I don't know about the coaching philosophies. And I will take the over. I think the over is actually probably the best play you can do on the board. J Mark, what are you doing here?
I'm hesitant to do this, but I'm going with the Eskimos. And little bit of it is how the week shakes out. I mean, the Eskimos coming off of a full week, right? They played Thursday. Now they get the full week till Thursday. Winnipeg played Saturday. Now they play on Thursday. So a little bit of scheduling. Edmonton should be fresher. And I really think that this is a kind of a dire situation for them of they need to bring their all because people are already questioning the quarterback, right? They're getting that from the media already. So Trey Ford knows he has got to play a perfect game. I don't expect it to be a pretty game. I don't expect them to win, but I do expect them to get a backdoor cover, maybe just sneak in there and lose by 9. So just barely cover it for me. But yeah, I'm riding with the Eskimos plus 10. Shop around. This is weird. I was looking at this. I bet it at 10.5. It immediately dropped to 9.5. And I thought, oh shit. What news did I miss? But yeah, so shop around, watch the lines there. And again, I think with Zach Claros in there, this offense is built to move slow. I think it's an offense that's built to move slow. No Brady Oliveira. So we'll have Matthew Peterson and Quentin Cooley again. I think they're going to move the ball slowly on Edmonton. Edmonton's defense starting to get some of the pieces together, even though Montreal just put up 38 on them. And then Edmonton's offense against Winnipeg. Winnipeg's defense going to struggle there. So I like the under. So we're complete opposite here.
Wow.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, you've been red hot. Maybe. You've been red hot. I've been sitting over here in the weeds still. Let's go to Friday night. Where? The Montreal Alouettes are heading to Hamilton, Ontario, to Hamilton Field. They're going to drop the hammer on them perhaps, but we know Montreal in a bit of a spot. Davis Alexander reportedly questionable. It's pretty big. It's pretty substantial news here. Last time they played, Montreal did win by 10 last August. The over under is set at 50.5 Montreal is laying 2.5. If Davis Alexander can't go, which DK has been speculating, it will be McLeod Bethel Thompson, who I just referred to earlier, the ageless one. I'll say this though, McLeod Bethel Thompson on the Edmonton Eskimos a year ago just didn't fit. Him on Montreal, where I feel like their offensive line has been so good and their receiving core is pretty strong, you might be able to see a different version of McLeod Bethel Thompson. And with the weapons around him, with Philpott and Tyler Snead and everybody, maybe he could be a value play in DFS. I would like the official word before I would place place that on my roster, him on my roster. But I mean, the one thing I'll say this year is I feel like these numbers seem too obvious.
Yeah.
But I think Montreal's better than Hamilton. And I question the toughness of Hamilton. So I am still laying the 2.5. And I will also. play the over in this game, despite me knowing Montreal is one of the best defenses in all of the CFL. What are you doing here?
Well, they are a good defense, but if they're ahead by a lot at the end, like going into that second half, we saw Edmonton put up some points there. They put up 28 on them. So they can allow some points by playing some prevent defense. This one, it is tough without knowing the quarterback situation. I remember the McLeod Bethel Thompson of the USFL, who was kind of the same McLeod Bethel Thompson as the CFL, where he threw for a lot of yards, but he really didn't do a lot, right? He didn't win a lot of games. He just threw for a lot of yards. So for me, if Davis Alexander plays, I'm all over Montreal. If he does not, you'll see me tweet it. Make sure you follow me at JMarkFootball because I'll change my pick. If he does not play, I'm taking Hamilton off of the bye week. But as long as he is playing,
It's easy
I'm
to
on
see
Montreal.
a tide turn.
Exactly. And I like the over either way. I think both these offenses can put up points. So I'm taking that over either way.
Yeah, I like that over too. And that game is Friday. And by the way, all 4 CFL games spread out over the weekend this week. Saturday, the BC Lions. Nathan Rourke says, "All right, Masoli, with your 44 passes, you're like 50 years old. You're gonna have to ice your arm for the rest of the season. All right, now it's my show." As they head into Regina. This last time they played, Saskatchewan won by 9 points back last November. The over under set at 51. The Roughriders undefeated, laying 5.5, and I'm not falling for it. You win a game on a walk-off kickoff. You yourself, J Mark, highlighted the fact they couldn't pass the ball. Rourke's healthy. BC is live. So I will not only take the points with BC, and I will not only take the over 51, 3 overs, Dundee. What are you doing? But I will also take BC to win this motherfucker on the money line. What are you doing here?
I like that play, and I'm going to agree with you. BC is the play here. I like the points. Nathan Rourke took 75% of the snaps in practice today with the first team. So I would say you don't have your star quarterback take that many if you're not pretty confident he's going to play, right? You want everybody on the same page. So I'm fairly confident he's going to play. And because of that, I'm all over BC. I like the money line as well. I was torn on the over under here. Just because the Saskatchewan defense is pretty good. So while I think BC wins, I think this could be maybe closer to a low scoring, but yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the under here. I'm going to ride with that under and go with the narrative that this is a grinded out type of game where BC wins by a field goal and, but keeps it low scoring, say 23-20.
There we go. All right. Some difference, always a little bit of difference. J Mark doesn't want to ride my coattails because I've been in the weeds. Final game on the slate. Then this is by the way. So this game is Saturday. Sunday, we get I fucked this up again. The Toronto Argonauts are at the Ottawa Redblacks. This is what happens. I'm in the office. Kramer's dog is up on the couch with a tennis ball in his mouth, growling at me because I'm not throwing the tennis ball with him as I'm doing these fucking slides. And I say, Kramer, can you get your dog out of my face? He goes, what? You got to play with him. So it keeps you sidetracked while you're trying to do this damn slides.
It's okay. It's the right decision to be sidetracked to make the puppy happy.
Gosh, I'm sitting there like, okay, but anyway, this is not the Ottawa Redblacks and Calgary Stampeders. This is the Toronto Argonauts at the Ottawa Redblacks. And the last time they played, Toronto scored 58 points against them last November 2nd as they won by 20.
That's the playoff game, I believe.
I think so. I think you're right. Ottawa is laying 2.5. The over under at 53, and this one's easy, man. Dinwiddie sent the message. Calgary didn't look that great. I don't know the status on the Dustin Crum situation, but or I'm sorry, the Drew Brown situation, but I just think this is a power play. This would be I'm going to lock this one up. I think the message came through to his team. Argos are going to go into Ottawa and win this fucking game. Money line play, and I will take the under 53 as well. My only under of the week, J Mark. What are you doing here?
Yeah, this is one where you got to ask yourself: is Ryan Dinwiddie a good coach? I know that there are times that you have argued that he is, and there are times I've argued that he is. There are also times. I mean, if you look at the Grey Cup when Nick Arbuckle came in and they still smashed that game, that was a really good coaching job. That wasn't because Nick Arbuckle's an amazing quarterback. He's not. But there are also times when I go, this guy's a fucking idiot. Like, I mean, you get rid of Kadeem Carey and then you can't run the ball. Funny. Just the way that they think that, hey, let's just go to younger guys. It's going to work out, and it doesn't. But I agree with you that I think this is backs against the wall. They need to win. They can't afford now. Granted, this division right now, a little bit easier. So they know they're not out of it. That probably helps motivate them. And they know that we need to start winning if we want to revisit how good last season was. Chad Kelly's back soon. We don't know if it's this game, but I think that'll motivate the team. I think he's going to, I do believe him when he says, if you guys keep fucking up, you're out of here. And I think that puts people on blast, and they know that we got to do our job. So yeah, I'm all over Toronto to win this game on the money line. I don't need the 2.5 points. And I like the under as well. If Dustin Crum plays, I don't think that Dustin Crum can put up enough points for this to go over 53.
I completely agree.
If Drew Brown plays, I still like Toronto to win, but I think that this could be a higher scoring game. You could see something like that Saskatchewan.
Do we know the injury report on that?
Not yet.
Yeah, I was scouring the internet earlier for that.
Yeah, since that's the Sunday's game, we probably won't have the first practice reports until tomorrow, I would assume.
All right, monitor that. Give the CFL Gambling Podcast a follow on Twitter. We will update you at CFL Gambling Pod, and of course our own personal accounts at JMark Football and at the Colby D. But right now, you know what time it is. Actually, JMark, I want to ask you before we get to that.
Yeah.
What is your top play of the week, totals wise and ATS?
Totals wise, it's that Montreal Hamilton game if Davis Alexander's in it. Well, either way, it's that Montreal Hamilton game. ATS, I'm taking BC. I think that's my most confident play, the +5.5, because I think they're going to win the game.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think that's the one that jumps out to me as well, especially knowing with the uncertainty if Drew Brown plays or not. All right. Well, this is a segment and totals. What about total? I think I like the under in the final game. And that Toronto Ottawa game is my favorite play, I think.
Montreal Hamilton over. That's my favorite.
Okay. Look, the world has been waiting for it.
It's a small world when you've got unbelievable tits, Roy.
We do things, in case you're a first-time listener, that other podcasts don't do. As far as I know, we have a thing called the Huge Tits Parlay. And here we are with the Huge Tits Parlay. Come check out Pick Dundee's Huge Tits Parlay. Yay. All right, the music's been getting worse, and I'm sure we're losing subscribers, and this show won't exist in a year. But I've got my Huge Tits Parlay ready to go. Shout out to Pamela Anderson, famous CFL huge titter. Yeah, she was discovered at a CFL game, folks. It's not just me randomly putting up a chick from the 60s. But look, my Huge Tits Parlay. Right there, you see it. It's a little tricky though. I got to describe it. It is money line with the Toronto Argonauts, money line with the BC Lions, and money line on the Montreal Alouettes, which obviously they're favored. But $50 will get you $543, and I believe 37 cents or something like that. So what are you doing? I'm going to go ahead and say this, J Mark. This is the most confident I feel in a Huge Tits Parlay in the 2 years we've done this.
Thanks for jinxing us. I appreciate that.
So I want to ask you, can you top that? Because no turn J-Mark, huge tits parlay of the week. What are you doing here, buddy?
Now I got to look up what I say. No, I got BC plus 5.5. Probably should have taken them on the money line like you did, but I took the points there. I have Toronto money line, and then I got that Winnipeg Eskimos game under 50.5. Notice I said Eskimos this time because when you asked it for the graphic, I said Elks, and you said, "Who's that? Who the fuck are the Elks?"
Who are the Elks? I don't know who they are.
They're the team like the Commanders. They don't exist.
Huh. Commanders were an arena football team. Oh, first they were an AAF team in 2019, and the Commandos, the Washington Commandos, were an arena football team in 1989 or 1990.
Don't start talking about arena football. The Arena Football 1 championship is Saturday at noon.
I've had enough A1 in my life at shitty steakhouses. All right, but you don't put A1 on your steaks, J-Mark. Please tell me you don't do that.
I don't put nothing on my steaks.
Yeah, not even you put hollandaise, any of that stuff.
No, butter and garlic when you get ready to throw it on the grill, but that's about it.
Yeah, butter, garlic. What about blue cheese or like Roquefort cheese? No,
nah.
I'll dabble that sometimes.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
Well, I like to have mushrooms with my steak for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Throw that shit on top of there. Let's go. Let's have a party. Yeah. Folks, we have DFS now, and I am very excited to bring you the ultimate DFS lineup. And it starts right here. And I mean, there's so many players that are injured. I know I keyed on this last week, but it's hilarious when you pull up DFS and you go to look at, hey, who should I play? And the entire rosters of like the top 6 of the top 10 guys have a questionable or out tag. So I think that opens up. I think most people complain, so many injuries in the league. Well, tackle each other more in the preseason. This is life. We're all gonna die one day, so let's just fucking relax a little bit. But I think there's value in when there's lineups like that. I think there's value, and that's why. And I thought long and hard about rostering McLeod Bethel Thompson, but I just couldn't do it. Especially when I saw Zach Caleros at 9,400 against a shitty Eskimo defense. So that is my starting quarterback. J-Mark, what'd you do here?
Yeah, I'm in that same game, but the other side of the ball. I'm giving him another chance. He's got to prove himself. He's got to prove he can become the starter or stay the starter. I mean, and he was the top DFS play at quarterback last week, despite the fact that they didn't look great. So give me Trey Ford. Because
what's it smell? You stink.
Because I also think they're going to cover. So give me Trey Ford, 9,800. He's going to do it with his legs. He's going to run around and get some rushing yards, and he's thrown for a lot of yards too, despite the fact that they're not winning games.
That's fair. That is fair. See you on the gridiron. At the running back spot, I only rostered one running back. Am I an idiot?
I also only have one.
And I went with the guy that you gave out, I believe, his first touchdown. AJ Alouette versus Saskatchewan against a foo-foo BC defense. 7,700. Did you roster AJ Alouette?
I absolutely did. That's my only running back, and yeah, that's the only thing that scares me about that game is if he starts going, because once he gets going, he is one of the best running backs in this league, I think.
Yeah. 100%. And we didn't even touch first touchdown props. We're going to touch that next week. I'm sorry. I apologize. We gave that away. You can hit us up on Twitter and I'm sure we can give you some of those plays, but studio time is studio time. At wide receiver, I'm trying to think who the hell's my most expensive. I believe it is my guy, Tyson Philpott, who you don't change horses midstream, buddy. So I had to load up on him. Yeah, that's my top wideout. How about you?
You feel good even if Davis Alexander does not play with Philpott?
I think I do, just because I think that O-line protects better than Edmonton did last year. So I almost feel like, and I almost think like I might turn on another lineup with McLeod, Bethel, Thompson, just because you saw Fajardo do fine with this. I almost feel like they're quarterback proof right now.
Yeah, no, I could see that for sure. I thought about Philpott, but because of the injury status, I decided to stay away from it. But you're right; he may be a little bit quarterback proof. I mean, he just started dominating last year, and so far this year, no signs of quitting. I went with your guy, a guy that you rostered over and over and over again last year. And he's a guy that I think if Nick Arbuckle is starting, he relies on him. If Chad Kelly happens to come back, he relies on him. And that's DeMonte Coxie, $9,000. He's gotten a huge target share this year already. And, they have other receivers, but I think he is the receiver on that team.
I thought about him, dude. He was my guy last year, but it's a new year. But I do think they're going to score points, so it might be a sneaky good play. My next receiver, I'm going to take you to one of my bargain bins, 3,400. Dion Brissett. For the Argos, same team, right? But look at this, man. This is a guy I think who's emerging. He had 7 targets last week, and he caught 6 of those 7 passes there, 53 yards, a touchdown as well. And I think with Coxie, whatever you want to say, getting all the attention, there's a Brissett heating up there. So Dion Brissett would be my play.
Now, big money difference. Are you putting that on the line for the bourbon?
Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Fair enough. All right. My next highest price guy, I'm not going to give out my bargains yet, is a guy on Hamilton, because I think Montreal showed that if they're up, that they'll allow some air yards, and they don't really care about that because they're still winning the game. That's Kenny Lawler, who is, he's been a dog in this league for a while. He's got 20.7 points and 27.2 points so far this year. I expect him to continue that progress, to continue in that 20 some yards or 20 some points. And he's only 8,400. I say only, but you look at a guy like Coxie, who only had 3 catches last week, is 9,000. So I think it's a really good deal for Lawler still.
Yeah, I got him on my roster too. So
nice.
Yeah, I look. I wanted to potentially get a couple other guys, but with the uncertainty at the quarterback spot. But I will say this: is McGinnis a play that we should consider, knowing Rourke is back?
I think he's considerable no matter what, right? He was the guy that even Mazzoli was looking towards. And I keep thinking Mazzoli, like when I think of him, I think he's like 44 years old or something. He's only 36, which in the CFL, not that old, but it just seems like he's been there forever.
Well, he has. He has, but yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So I only have one receiver left then, and that is my guy. Now, once again, this is one that I will pivot from if Drew Brown is not playing, but Justin Hardy at 7,500, I think could be a value play. If Brown plays, I think he could be maybe the best play on this fucking team. Your thoughts, and what are you doing at your spot?
Yeah, I like Justin Hardy. I know you like Justin Hardy. He's one of your other guys. I've got 2 others to give out, both a little bit of a bargain. So at 5,700, I'll give out the first one, Dalton Schoen. I was on him in week 2 when Streveler started, and it didn't really pan out. And then Claros comes back, and it's like, oh yeah, Claros is the guy that loves him, and he throws him the first touchdown. I cashed that at 9-1, so that was sweet.
And what, Dembski's injured, right?
Dembski is injured; he's questionable, so even more targets for Schoen.
That's how much is his price?
5,700.
That's interesting, right? with that injury there. Even if he plays, he's not 100%. So you would think that Schoen might get the ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
Might have to turn in another lineup. Yeah. What's the next one?
Sorry. Mine. The next one is out of Edmonton. I already talked about, and I like to stack with my quarterbacks. You guys know that if you've listened before. And this guy last week 7 receptions, 97 yards. Stephen Dunbar Jr., and he's only 4,000. I think Ford realized that, like, oh, this guy will go up and get it for me. He'll be where I need him to be. So I think he's going to keep throwing to him. And at 4,000, I think his price is going to keep going up because I think he will keep getting targets.
There we go. Okay. Now the $1 million question. Wait, you're on defense, right?
Yeah. That's all I got left.
All right. Well, mine is obvious. I think the Eskimos are garbage. The football gods are mad at them, and rightfully so. So I will take the Winnipeg at home. Come on, that defense is solid still. Did you see Adam Bighill got signed, by the way, by Calgary?
I did see that. That's a good signing for them.
Yeah. What'd you do on the defensive side of the ball? Now this is a tricky one, by the way, because I will say if Drew Brown is not playing, I might pivot to Toronto. I thought about pivoting to Hamilton, but I was like, Hamilton's defense is just so pussy over the years. I can't get there. What are you doing here?
I think your Winnipeg play is a really good one. I ended up going with a team that I thought they did really well last week, slowing Vernon Adams down and limiting points and creating some turnovers there. That's the Ottawa Redblacks, because as much, I took Toronto. I'm taking them on the money line. But if there's one team that I really don't trust, it's Toronto. They have, I realize they put up 33 points last week. That looks like they unlocked something. But Nick Arbuckle, if he's their starter, he's still throwing more career interceptions than touchdowns. And if it's Chad Kelly, he's coming back from an injury where he may be just a little bit on edge about getting hit again after that brutal injury and have a little bit of rust to shake off. So I'm going to give Ottawa a chance here to slow them down and kind of limit points. And they're 3,900.
May the force be with you, folks. That is our show. Shout out to all the people listening. J-Mark, I see our numbers are 3 times what they were a year ago.
Let's go.
So it must be all these huge tits parlays we're giving out.
Well, when you go 7-1, people want to tune in to hear your picks.
Yeah, damn right. So yes, folks, hit us up as far as props, first touchdown or something like that. We'll probably be throwing those out there. I apologize. I just got to get out of here because the next show is about to start. But next week we will.
They can wait for the CFL.
See how that works. But and no, that does not mean that we don't love the CFL. Yes, and give the CFL Gambling Podcast a follow on Twitter at CFL Gambling Pod. Check out J-Mark's show. They always talk CFL some. The Old Fashioned Football Podcast. Give J-Mark a follow on Twitter as well at J-Mark Football. What are you guys tackling this week?
Well, last week we asked, are the Chiefs going to make the Super Bowl again? And talked about some of the other teams that might instead of them. This week it's, are the Eagles going to make it again? Can they do a repeat, or who might be in their place?
There you go. I'm also the host of the College Football Experience, breaking down every single team, 136 previews. And we are the host of the UFL Gambling Podcast. Check that out. We've been doing this for a while. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Till next week, folks, have a wonderful week and cannot wait to break down the action next week. Shout out to FF Sportsman in the chat. Cheers, brother. We look forward to catching all the action. I love the way they spread it out, the 4 games this weekend. Each day we're going to jump on something there. Till next time, this is the CFL Gambling Podcast. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Everybody's trying to stop this team, but we you.